All right, we are in the second part of our test where we know we've done our draw length test. And now what we're going to see is that all these bows set at 29 and what quote unquote 70 was for them. We know the Matthews was a little bit long, everybody else was dead on. We're going to cut an arrow. I'm actually going to build the arrow I want to shoot. So I'm going to use one of these bows, and I know that's not really fair, but what I'm going to do is we know that the Matthews was a little bit long, so we're going to use a Hoyt. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut an arrow to the burger hole where I normally shoot it. And I'm going to run a 300 spine because 29, 70 is where it should tune well. I'm not looking for a long distance bow right now. I am looking for just a hard hitting bow. The caveat to that is I don't want to really be above 480. I really would like to be in that 460 range, but I don't believe that speed has that much of an impact in terms of our ability to kill animals. I think that's all up to us and our shots. So going forward, what we're about to do is we're going to take this Hoyt, we're going to draw it back, we're going to mark the arrow length, and then I'm going to build the arrow up of what I'm going to build, and then we'll shoot that same arrow out of every single bow and get its speed. Then we will tune every single bow, see how easily they tune. We're going to throw the laser on and center the rest. We know the bows are all in time. We've done that as we've been testing them. Now what we're going to do is we'll put the laser on them. We'll run the laser. We'll get everything centered, and let's see how close they are to shooting that way directly out of the box. Like a perfect paper tear. Okay, we're back at it with this video today. What we're doing now is we're drawing this bow back, and again, we're going to use the RX-9 Ultra. Draw it back. They're all supposed to be set at 29, and we're going to mark the arrow. And I'm going to use that same arrow. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to change it whenever it comes down to it in the very end for the hunt. But right now, that's what we're going to use. I'm using an Easton Axis long range match grade arrow. And the reason I'm using it is just because Easton's really good to us. I don't have a preference on arrows. I actually think the new UltraView arrows are probably the quietest arrow on the market. And no joke, I don't have the testing behind that, but I think it's auditorily, when we're in the range, we all feel like it's the quietest arrow. But for now, this is an attainable arrow for most people. And we're going to set it up, and I may adjust the front weight on it to get it exactly where we want. But let's draw it back, let's get our measurement, and then we can start shooting these bows and getting some speeds on them. I will tell you, one of the negative things about the Hoyts is they used to tell you what mod letter equaled the draw length. They did away, and you've got to scan a QR code every time. And for a guy like me, when we're really busy in the shop, that's a pain in the butt because I'm not going to have them all memorized. Yeah, it's really frustrating, actually. It's got 29. I'm going to cut in here to the burger. So we got that, and then we'll go weigh it with y'all, and we'll check everything and go from there. And we do really like this Hooter shooter for setting up customers' bows. We can do a lot with it, and if we have time, we can run everything through the Hooter shooter. So let's go weigh the arrow.
These ones?
Yes. Okay, so we're back. I think I solved the problem. I went with a Victory outsert that was a 95 grain and allows us to use a 100 grain head on it. And I wanted to be in that 480 range, which again, I don't think is make it or break it. We'll see how this tunes with that on there. If it's too weak or too stiff, we'll make adjustments. But for the speed test, we're gonna be 484. .8, so we'll just call it 485. 100 grains with a 95 grain Victory outsert on a Easton Axis match grade 4mm 300. So again, 484.8 for. All right, I need to be very clear that this year I am shooting. That's right, a trigger release. Not for any particular reason. It's just that for these hunts, I feel like I can keep up with it better because I have lost a thumb and a hinge. The last 3 years I've exclusively hunted with hinges, and thumb when I'm hunting in Kansas, actually on tree stand. But neither here nor there, I'm gonna be using this year, and I freaking love it. I think it's epic. Although this one has been adjusted, so we'll need to fix that. But we're just getting the speed right now. RX9 Ultra, 484.8 grain arrow. Okay, and we're ready. I do like that bow. Gosh, I like that bow. 484 grains. Let's make sure we're the right height over this. 278.4. 278.4. I'm using the same arrow for the entire test, so I'm going to run down there and get it. The cool thing about this bow is, or this arrow is, it's going to give me the weight I want and the speed, and it'll also quiet down the bow a little bit. I'm good with that speed. Again, we're shooting almost a 500 grain arrow, and with my draw length and poundage, I think it's completely appropriate for any animal in North America. We're gonna give this one more shot, and then we're gonna drop down and we're gonna do the regular RX9 at 29 inches, 70 pounds. I did a really bad shoulder workout this morning, so I can't draw back real well, but. .278.6, so pretty consistent there. So that's the RX9 Ultra on our speed test. Now we're gonna grab the RX9, the regular one. I just gotta throw a rest on it because someone took it off. Okay, the RX9 will be shot in just a second. We had the rest off of it, and I would rather get these videos all shot now. What the heck? There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and, again, I'm not editing this. I'm not giving y'all any BS. We're just setting these up and going. This is at 29 inches. Again, these are all measured. So we're gonna shoot the Hoyt now. This is your AX2, and this is the 32 inch, which I love. Yeah, feels good. It's a little bit more stout than that Ultra, but it is ultra smooth in my opinion. 275.5, so we're actually really similar to the RX9 Ultra. And then let's shoot. All right, so we're on the Matthews Lyft X, and let's just see what she shoots. Again, all these are at 29. Well, the Matthews, though, is a little bit higher poundage. I mean, sorry, a little bit longer draw length. Draw length I enjoy, smooth. Just peeps a little low for me, but. 284.6. Again, you have a 1/4 inch draw length, but that's 10 feet per second different than what you got on that Alpha X 32. And we'll check the shorter Hoyt here in a second. Again, it's getting a rest with the other RX9 regular. Let's go ahead and move to the Matthews Lyft X33. All right, so we got the RX9 now, the regular one. Let's draw it back, 70 pounds, 29 inches. This is gonna be a little bit louder for those asking, because it's got that piece of paper down there that they use for their card. Shoot it, so. .284.7, so like 10 feet per second faster than your RX9 Ultra, which your shorter axle bows tend to have a little bit more speed to them. Now we're gonna go ahead and get the Lyft X33. Now we got the Lyft X33. Again, literally the exact same arrow. And I am getting tired, guys. Okay, draw length feels good. Bow feels really light compared to some of the other ones. .273, so your 32 inch axle Hoyt and the Matthews are about the same speed. I'm giving you actual speeds. I'm not looking at it, y'all. I don't give a crap about that. I'm giving you actual speeds with this arrow. I think the main difference there is knowing that Matthews is a 1/4 inch longer than what the Hoyt was. And just to make sure, but yeah, we should be draw lengthwise correct. Let's triple check that just to make sure on that Matthews, because that bow looks good. Some Mard chart in here. Back at it with a mod chart. I like to triple check myself, so I'm not giving y'all any BS again. We're looking Lyft X33. And we have the F mod on it, so we are good. We were at 29, which is really 29 and a quarter. And our 29 and a half was set to C, which is 29. So all these bows are set at 29. When we did the actual ammo measurement, both Matthews were a quarter inch longer. The 29 and a half is significantly faster than the 33, and that's okay. 10 feet per second, actually, in my opinion, is a lot. If it was 2 to 3 difference, not a big deal. But your longer axle to axle bow is going to be slightly slower, just like you were on your Alpha X32 compared to your RX9. And we're building up right now we're not building up, we're just putting the rest on the AX2, our shorter version of that. And so now we're going to go on to the PSE and shoot the PSE for you. We are back with the Mach 30 DS and Mossy Oak with flow orange string on it, a 29 inch draw length, 70 pounds. This bow's bad, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's definitely one of my favorites. You can see the difference of the arrow compared to where it was on the Matthews, because the Matthews is a quarter longer. 277.5, and so when you compare this bow hitting on poundage, and it's actually like actual arrow speeds a little bit slower than what we're looking at on a similar axle to axle on our Matthews. And so pretty interesting. A little bit longer axle to axle. We're at a 30, but half an inch is not much to complain about. And now we're got to get our Bowtech going. Woohoo! Back with the Bowtech Solution LS. I know all these other bows are bare. I just have this one set up in the shop, and it's the only one we have, so we're going to use it. 70 pounds, 29 inches. And this is actually on the performance, but let's see what we hit. That's such a smooth draw. I'm not going to lie, that is the smoothest draw out of any of them, period. .268.4. Smoothest draw. I did not hold it very well. There was a lot of wobbling, and it could be because I'm tired. The bow did not hold as well as the other bows, but this draw is not even close to how much smoother it is. And so we're going to grab the arrow, and then we're going to shoot our Bear Whitetail. So now we got the Bear Whitetail INT. Same thing, set up similarly. Again, these nocks are all tight. All this stuff will be adjusted later. We're just setting them up as they come as a factory. That's actually a pretty harsh draw, believe it or not. But the bow holds well. It holds better than that Bowtech did. 280.7. So this and the Lyft X are the fastest so far with that arrow. The arrow flew like freaking crap. So we're going to get in here and adjust it because it's not fair. And then we're going to shoot the Hoyt. We're back at the Hoyt again. We finally got a rest on it, and so we're going to shoot that now. The shorter Hoyt, the 29. We have the 29-inch AX2 now, the Alpha. I will tell y'all, this is not my favorite draw cycle. It's pretty harsh in my opinion, but it's a freaking phenomenal bow. Let's check our speeds on it. Let's straighten up the chrono just a little bit. So far our fastest bow has been the Lyft X in the 29.5, and then the next fastest, about 4 feet per second slower, is gonna be your Bear Whitetail, which is pretty crazy. Jeez, guys, I do not like that. Also, it's because I'm a wuss. I understand that. .284.1, so we're getting the same speed that we got out of our Matthews. The Matthews was a 1/4 inch longer, and so that may be the 284 point whatever, and it gave it a little speed. So we have to take that into consideration, the 1/4 inch extra in draw length, because that matters. The throw of the cam being a 1/4 inch longer is huge, and may have added, let's say, 4 feet per second fast speed to it. And so maybe the Hoyt is actually faster, and then you're gonna have the Matthews and the Whitetail at the same speed, and we'll go from there. Looking in terms of what performed the best, Hoyt's gonna get a 10 because their bow, not looking at IBO. Again, I'm not looking at IBO, I'm looking at actual speed. This Hoyt, the 29, is gonna give Hoyt the 10. Matthews, I'm gonna give them an 8 because they are a little bit longer, but still performed well, and the cam cycle is much smoother. The Bear's gonna get a 10 because it's freaking smoking it. I do not like the draw cycle, let me make that very clear. The PSE, I was really hoping to do better. That's my favorite bow this year, like one of my favorites, right there with the Lyft X. But the speed was enough slower at that. Now, granted, we can put a different cam on or whatever else, but where it is right now, I'd have liked to see a little bit more speed, but again, we're shooting a 484 grain arrow. The Lyft X actually was surprisingly slow for me, the 33. The 270s, I forgot what it was, but with that heavy of an arrow, it's okay. The RX9, again, one of your faster bows. I love that bow. I think it was way smoother than this bow, the regular RX9. Smooth, dead in the hand, really great draw cycle. The Alpha X2, the AX2, the 32 inch. Great bow in the 270s with this speed. Draw cycle was smooth. It was dead in the hand. I would still give the RX9, the regular one, just the way that it holds, I would say is probably the winner out of that. So Hoyt is going to get a 10 just because overall with all those bows. Matthews in the an 8. PSE, I'm going to give an 8. Bear, I'm giving a 10. The Bowtech felt like crap at full draw, but the draw cycle was fantastic, so I'm giving it an 8. And I think that's about all of that so far. So now what we got to do is, I'd originally said when we started this test we were going to eyeball all the rests, like a lot of people do at home, and I think that that's a fair way to do it. We had to change our minds and we're going to laser it, but we're not going to do that anymore. Now we're going to eyeball it, and we're going to go run them through paper and